everyone, Bright UJ back with an all-new episode of Yay Toys Plus, and today's review is going to be on Batman Ascending Knight. He is one of the latest from Mezco 112's collective line. I bought this figure about a week ago at Near Guard Toys in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you, Noel, for making this review possible. I have not had the time to review this figure until now, so sorry about that. Either way, let's get started. So even though I bought this figure a week ago and have not had time to review it, I have had time to pose around and play with it. And honestly, this is probably one of my new favorite Mezco figures. I was kind of bummed I did not receive my all-black Toy Fair exclusive variant. I did miss out on that this year at Toy Fair. I was bummed. However, I did see this version in the display case, and I thought it looked really good, and honestly, I'm more of a gray-suited Batman fan. This especially reminds me of the older stuff, like the Ascending Knight Batman from, like, you know, when he first started out, as well as later on, they kind of revamped it for Batman Zero Year, which was a Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo story. Snyder wrote it and Capullo drew it, and honestly, the only thing that this figure is missing is purple gloves. Which is fine that they went with the all-black gloves, well, black and gray gloves. It matches better, you know. Anyway, so the articulation on this figure is pretty awesome, and I'll show you that in a moment. But first, let's take a closer look at the costume. I think the emblem came out really good. The sculpt on the belt came out really nice. Really nice gold metallic paint, too. I do love the overlay on the fabric, especially on the knee pads. It came out really good. The sculpted boots came out really nice. You do get some metallic gray on the bottom and on the back. You do get some metallic gray on the gauntlets as well as the gloves. Also up on the top by the cowl, you do get some of that metallic gray too, and that's pretty cool. The way the face came out, the sculpt is just perfect. The way the paint came out for the eyes, really, really nice. The horns, or the ears rather, they came out good too. I thought they'd be softer. They're a little bit harder, and honestly, that's fine by me. Now on the back of the figure there, Batman's just jacked. Yeah, all around looks really, really good. I do like the way the back of the belt came out, and you can untab it if you wanted to. So if you want to have a Dio where Joker is attacking Batman and he needs to get out of it without his utility belt, that's pretty cool. The way the back of the boots came out really good. All around, really, really nice figure. This is where the grapple gun will go. And the cape is really long and drapes over him really nicely. So, like, honestly, the cape goes out about that far. Let me show you guys without dropping the figure this time. Yeah, so the cape goes out about that far and could drape over him really well. So now let's talk about articulation. Batman has a decent amount of articulation too, so his head can go down that far, back about that far, can go side to side. It's on a ball peg, so you get the idea, and if you want to take a look at the ball peg, so you see, you do get the decent range of motion with a ball peg joint, so that's really awesome. His arms can go out all the way, right? You can go up about this far without doing any damage. You don't want to go any further because you don't want to risk the fabric ripping or anything. You can get the butterfly joint in there to move back and forth. He does have an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, full wrist rotation, really awesome diaphragm joint. So it goes side to side as well as crunch and back. You do get the leg to kick out that far. Upper thigh swivel, he can split about that far. Double jointed knees, and he does have up and down movement on the ankle as well as the sort of pivot, you know. Mezco's trying with their pivot. You know, they do what they can, and honestly, it works for most figures. I know sometimes with like the bulkiness of the boot, it gets in the way. But yeah, that's his articulation. Now let me show you what accessories he comes with. There's not many, but there's a lot. So Mezco always comes standard with the official 112 Collective Ziploc bag. They know that some people do not keep the packaging. I am different. I keep them. I have a stack of them in my closet. And yeah, that's pretty cool that you get one of these in case, you know, you don't keep it and you want to find a home for all your, many accessories. So that's really cool. Of course, you get the dust magnet display base. I'm just kidding. I like these things. I use the display base. I don't often use the arm, but I use the display base. I think it looks good in my cabinet. And then you got the peg here. And then what you would do is you take this articulated arm that you get standard, and then it comes 4 Phillips heads. So you could articulate it at the bottom, in the middle, at the top, and then the clasp as well to loosen and tighten to your, your liking. And then what you would do is you just poke at the bottom, and you would plug this in, and then there you have the stand if you want to have like Batman jumping. But then of course, since he's a figure with a cape, you get something that comes standard with those. Because there's no wiring in the cape, you do get this piece here. It does have 7 holes, and then you get these things here. And then you get 2 long ones and 3 short ones to have them kind of in gliding pose. And then you would basically plug in to the bottom or the top or however you want to do it. And then that goes onto this part right here. And you would clamp that on, and then you would play around to see however you want to pose your Batman. So that's pretty cool. And they changed it up. I know a lot of people are hating on the clasp and the non-wired cape, but Mezco, they figured, hey, since they can't wire every single cape, it can't all be like Shazam and Space Ghost, let's have this piece here change up a bit. So instead of it being a harder plastic, it's a softer, pliable plastic, so it's a lot easier to use. So thank you, Mezco, for listening and, changing things up. For swappable parts, you of course get, with this figure and the Toy Fair version only, the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. And that fits on him really nicely. So yeah, that fits on him really nice. Some people say it looks like Charlie Sheen. I could kind of see that. But yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. Get you a better look at the head sculpt. So yeah, like I said, some people say, hey, look, it's Charlie Sheen. Didn't I see you on that show, 2.5 Men? Yeah, I like the head sculpt. I think it looks good. They did a great job. There's some gray and lighter brown highlights in the hair to give it, a lot of detailing. So yeah, I like it. Now for hands, you get one trigger finger hand. I do like the way the sculpt and the paint came out. Came out really nice on this thing. So yeah, that's really cool. And this is built for the grapple gun, which I'll get into in a minute, and then the Bat Trank crossbow, which I'll get into also. You get a pair of like come at me hands, which you could also place batarangs in. And yes, I say batarangs. I'll get into that as well. Looks really nice. Do like the sculpt on these. And then you get a pair of grip hands. And I tend to use these for batarangs. Because you basically could put like 1 or 2 in each hand. Like I said, you get a lot of batarangs. And let me show you what they look like. That is your batarang. It has some nice detailing. There's a little bit of gray into the black, but not a lot. It's just enough. I didn't notice it at first, and you probably won't either, but it is there. You get 10 of these. They're small. They get lost very easy. They come in the box, like wrapped with like a piece of adhesive over it, So what I did was I took the remaining 9, and I put them in a regular Ziploc. Only because I did not want to lose any of these. I'm a stickler for keeping my pieces. So, yeah. Now, you get a melee weapon called the Bat Brick. This, I'm not sure exactly what this is outside of like a blunt force or melee thing. I couldn't tell what it was with the all black one when I did see that. But I do like the way the paint came out with like, you kind of have like the bladed bottom. It looks really good. And it folds in both directions. So you have that. There's no real weapon storage for it, which kind of is a bummer, but you know, it's cool. I like Batman having, you know, weird Batman items. So yeah, there's that. Like I was saying, here's the crossbow. And you can see the nice paintwork on the dart tips, as well as the nice dry brushing of the silver or the metallic gray on the front. Looks really good. Nice sculpt too. The grapple gun, you get 3 grapples. You get retracted, which plugs in really easy. You just gotta find the right groove. Right, it holds in really, really well. You get the ready to fire. Also holds in really well. And then you get the fired one, and that's this little piece here. Plugs right into here. And then I'm not going to undo the rope. I don't think I'm ever going to use it, but it does extend about this far. And I apologize for the sun going in and out. It's a weird Brooklyn sort of spring day today. And that's the lighting I'm using for right now. So I am getting better lighting down the line. So hang tight, guys. Yeah, so those are the accessories. And honestly, I think they're all really nice. And I kind of like having them displayed with the, you know, the trank gun in hand. Oh, and let me show you something real quick. Take the grapple gun, which I forgot to get into detailing. I do love the metallic gray dry brush on it. I think it looks really well, and the sculpt is beautiful on this thing. And then just plug it right back in, like I said. Be very careful. Be very quiet. Your hunting rabbits. You know me, I like to have fun on this channel. Anyway, so once again, put that back in. And then I like to show you how the grapple gun goes into the back. And just goes in really nicely, just like so. And it doesn't really fall out. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah. Let me put his Batman head back on. I really do love the sculpt on his head. I think it came out really, really nice. But yeah, I like to, of course, you know, now the grapple gun falls out, because I told you guys it doesn't. So yeah, I like to keep the dart gun in hand. I think, and always like the cape slightly draped over. I think that looks really good. So yeah, let me focus in better on this for you. There we go. Yeah, so that's my review of the figure. I love this Batman. I think it's probably, as I said before, one of my new favorite Mezcos. They just keep pumping out greatness. There's a lot of stuff at New York Toy Fair that I saw. I'll put a link in the description. And I'll put one of those like info cards on the top of the, you know, the top right corner. There's so many cool things coming, guys. So stay tuned for that. As for the channel, just a little update. I am working on a new backdrop. I'm using a cheap sheet for the time being, which is kind of getting, you know, messed up because I do have cats that like to run around and play. Plus, this thing's over a year. I do want to get better lighting and stuff. So that's just a little bit of the channel update for you. I am working on stuff. And if you hear background noise, my cats are being hurricane kittens. So I do apologize for that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. And of course, you can follow me on social media. I am on Twitter and Instagram, both at BRI_2J. And if you want to follow the channel, it's on Toyz Plus. You can of course find this video on my YouTube channel. If you like the video, please hit like. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit subscribe. There's going to be a lot of content coming. I have a stack that's just waiting to get pumped out and reviewed. Yeah, you could, of course, find this video on InnerCityGeeks.com as well. One more big shout out to Noel down at New Guard Toys for making this happen, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.